200,000 subs.
We did it.
You did it. It's all because of you clicking that button, ringing the bell, and watching all the videos. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all of the support. We finally reached our goal. 2022, we did it. What a way to start off the year. We've got our Happy New Year hat on. 200,000.
When you hit 200,000 subs, you can afford some extra nice props, like the dollar store hats. And Andrea went the extra and put the 200,000 on there.
Yeah, I did.
Wow,
and we've got our blowers.
With the gold, I don't know, is it gold or green? It kind of looked like a leprechaun.
These hats never look good on anyone, let's be honest.
All right, I tell you what we're going to do for our 200,000 sub video is answer the most asked questions we get on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, minus the hats. Let's start with our most asked question.
What car are you sitting in?
We're sitting in our Porsche Cayenne, our mobile studio. Of course, when we're test driving a specific car, we drive that. But when we do our comparisons, this is what we like to sit in.
And I think that many of you think it looks so good because of that panoramic sunroof that Zach does not like, but we have it. And I really think that panoramic sunroofs are showstoppers in vehicles.
Well, this is also a lesson for anybody buying a car. When you find the perfect car, don't let one feature get in the way of not buying it. I don't like panoramic roofs. I can just close it when I'm driving. But if you're looking for a car and you're looking for the perfect vehicle, sometimes it's not available.
Yeah, so true. A lot of times you have a lot of positives about a car and then there's a few negatives. So just pick the one that has the most positives for you. Another question that we get asked often is, how did you guys meet?
Well, I moved from Ontario. I grew up in Ontario, in Toronto, and I went to broadcasting school and started my radio career in London, Ontario. Yeah. And there was a brand new radio station opening up here in Vancouver. So I jumped in my 1985 Toyota Celica GT. For Americans, I'll translate. That's a Celica GT. And drove across the country in 3 days. And guess who was working there?
Well, I wasn't there quite yet. I actually came a year later. I was at another radio station.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
But when I started at this station, who do you think kept coming around to my office? Yep, Zach Spencer. And it was my boss who said, you know he likes you, right? And I said, no, we're just friends. And then the next day, he asked me out for dinner, and the rest is history.
It's been many years.
Yeah.
So we both started in radio. I was a disc jockey. Andrea was what we call a newsie, reading the news.
Yeah, I was.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
In her polka dot dress.
We won't get into that. So that brings us to our next question. Do you have a broadcasting career? We both do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started, as I just said, as a top 40 disc jockey in London, Ontario. Yeah. Moved to Vancouver, helped put on a brand new radio station. Now, when I was working at the radio station, I started this car review show on Delta Cable. If anybody knows the movie Wayne's World, you know, Wayne and Garth are in the basement there doing community TV. That's what I did. That's how I started. And then I went to morning TV and then switched over full-time to cars.
And I actually have a marketing and sales background as well. And it was Zach who came to me when he wanted to start up this TV show on the cable network. And he had this proposal and he said, well, can you take a look at it and tell me if it's okay? Do you think they'll go for it? And it was really good. And he pitched it and they went for it. He didn't make any money because it was a cable network, but it was a good start, right?
Looks good on a resume. Remember, you know, you've all had jobs like that. So anyway, fast forward, and then when the YouTube channel started about 10 years ago, Andrea would come in once in a while and do sort of cameo appearances. She'd do specialty videos.
Family vehicles
throughout the years. And then just before COVID hit, I was looking at all the numbers of the videos that we do.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, hon? All the videos you're in seem to do better.
So, I don't know why.
So I said, why don't we try and do one video a month where it's the two of us together? And then what happened?
Well, then COVID hit. March 2020. Oh boy, that was just such a blur. I can't believe we're almost at 2 years now. We said to each other, you know what? We have nothing else to do. Zach's not traveling anymore. No one is seeing each other. We're basically in lockdown except for being able to work. So we said, let's change the channel. And we are both pretty creative people. We would go on walks with our dog and we would say to each other.
We talked it out, man.
Yeah, we talked it out. Let's start up Questions, Coffee, and Cars. Let's interact with our Instagram followers.
And then for your consideration. And then we added vital stats, and we added this and that, and now we've kind of got our formula.
Yeah.
It's always being tweaked. So that's kind of what we do. We go on a walk with the dog and we talk it out, and then we change the videos. And a lot of it comes from you, because you ask for specific things and then we try to implement them.
Yeah, we do. And we've had a lot of fun doing this. We love interacting with all of you on Instagram. It's been a really good almost 2 years.
Yeah, but that's the next question. What's the next one?
The next question is, how can you live together and work together? I could never live with my spouse. We hear this all the time, or my partner.
We have a 3-floor house, a basement, a main floor, and then the bedrooms are upstairs. So we have a nice kitchen. Andrea's got her laptop sitting there at the island working away. The editing suite is in the basement.
Yeah.
So whenever we kind of, butt head, it does happen. We're married. Whenever we get on each other's nerves, I go into the cave and Andrea works away, and then we come back at dinner and everything's fine.
Yeah, and when we do our reviews, in car, we both have our own ideas. So I think that you have to be patient with each other. You have to respect each other's ideas and just always keep an open mind. I've got a super funny story because Zach and I travel together. I mean, we live together, we work together, we travel together.
And now we're traveling together.
And so
I used to go on all these press trips,
yeah,
like 2, 3, 4 times a month. And now Andrew's coming on them.
And now I am. So we were on the Ford Bronco launch. And I'm a morning person. I always get up earlier than Zach at home and obviously on the road. I used to be a figure skater. I was up at 4 or 5 in the morning to skate. And Zach, I got up early that morning, as I do. I had a shower. I posted my Instagram, and then I went down to the lobby because Zach still wasn't up and the room is dark, got us some coffees, brought it back up, and then I hear his alarm go off and he's up. Well, I've been up for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I'm a chatty person. Anyway, Zach, I've got all these ideas for filming today. And
by the way, we should say we're also on Eastern time.
Yeah.
So if it's 7 in the morning, it's really 4 in the morning. Okay, just have that as a reference.
Yeah.
So Andrea's like, da, 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 and I just went like this, pump the brakes, pump the brakes.
I was like, what?
It's too early in the morning.
So I've learned that maybe don't be so chatty when I first get up in the morning, and he's just getting up.
I need caffeine. I need half an hour with coffee, and then I slowly come to life.
Yeah, he comes to life. Another question that is asked quite a bit is, what cars have you owned?
We've had a lot of nice cars. You know what? I have been into cars my whole life, and ever since I could afford a nice car, I've always had a nice car. Yeah. And I always say to Andrea, life's too short to drive a crappy car. That's my philosophy. Yeah. So when I met Andrea, I drove a GTI, a black one.
Yeah.
And Andrea had a hot hatch herself. What was it?
I had a Dodge Colt. But mine was brand new. It was all I could afford. Was it? I feel like it was used.
It was used.
But anyway, it doesn't matter, used or new.
All right.
I actually wanted the Honda Civic, but all I could afford was the Dodge Colt.
All right, let's go through them. We've had 5 BMWs. Yeah. After I got rid of the GTI, I had the original 1988 BMW M6. Beautiful car. Holy mother of God, does it need a lot of maintenance?
Yeah.
Then we had a 5 Series station wagon. Very cool car. Andrea hated it.
I didn't hate it. That is not true. He always says that I hated it.
You don't like station wagons.
I just preferred something else, but I never hated it. And I have another story for you about wheels.
Okay, we'll get to that. 5 Series station wagon. We own 2 7 Series, a 740IS and a 740IL, and then we had an X5. Okay,
and a Honda Accord.
Well, we're getting the BMWs off. Oh. We've had 3 Volkswagen vans, 2 air-cooled vans, and then 1 water-cooled, a Vanagon, which went about 5 years ago. We had the Honda Accord.
Yeah.
All right. Then we get into an Audi.
Yeah, we had the Audi A7.
And then
okay.
And now we get into the Porsches.
Yeah.
So we've owned 2 air-cooled 911s, a 993, a C2S, and then a 993 C4S.
So you've had a lot of cars.
And now we have 3. We've had 3 Porsche Cayennes. Mm-hmm. 1 is gone, and we currently have 2. Mm-hmm. And there's one I'm missing here.
The Honda Civic.
A Honda Civic and a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a bit, quite a few. I'm going to get back into camping when I get an ID buzz. That's what I'm going to do.
When we first got married, we had this is good marital advice for anybody who's newly married and trying to save for a house, is buy what you need, not what you want.
Yes,
right? So
yes.
we had a rule while we were saving for a down payment on our house. If you really, really need to have it, get it, but delay things that you want. So we didn't go on a vacation, but we had the Volkswagen van, and we for our summer vacation, we drove to Banff and back in the Volkswagen van. It was a great trip.
Fun. It was a good trip. We enjoyed it a lot. And about the wheels, we have this thing, if you don't know, you don't go. So you never scrape the wheels.
So
that's
what that
in
means
our
is
house.
when you're parallel parking and you're just about to hit the curb with the back right wheel, if you don't know if you're going to hit, you don't keep going. If you don't know, you don't go. You pull out and then you try again. So we're very particular about curbing wheels.
We are. So one time I had pulled and I did scrape the wheel. And
this was the 5 Series station wagon.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, how could I have done this? I'm so good at parallel parking. Anyway,
by the way,
I
wait,
was so stressed out that
Andrea,
I had to go in and talk to Zach about.
No, look, can I just give you some props? Hold on a second. Okay, Andrea, pump the brakes. Andrea's a great parallel parker.
I'm good.
She has people who watch her parallel park, and then when she gets out, they go, "Man, you were good." I never get that, but I guess if you're good looking and you drive a nice car, they're pretty impressed.
I'm just a good parallel parker.
So am I. So continue your story.
So I did curb it, and I went in and I told Zach, and I was so stressed out because we just don't do that stuff. And he could tell that I was upset with myself. And so he said, come with me. And he brought me to our garage and he said, look up there.
Yeah, I pulled down the box and opened the box, and there was an extra wheel. And Andrea says, why do we have an extra wheel for this car? And I said, because I curbed the wheel on the car, and I drove to the wheel store and I bought an extra wheel and had them put it on so you wouldn't see it. And then
he was embarrassed that he
curbed the wheel. And then I had them fix it and repaint it. So I said, now we've got a spare wheel. So we both did it.
Yeah, we both did it.
And by the way,
he did make me feel better.
This Cayenne is 4 years old almost. Not a mark on the wheels.
Not a mark. And I mostly drive it.
Yeah. All right, what else do we have?
And our final question, because I think this is getting a little long, talking about ourselves.
You guys are getting a real deep dive into our world here.
If you didn't have a budget, what car would you buy right now? So the one I would buy 100% is the Porsche Targa 4S.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get the 4S, Andrew. I get the GTS.
Okay, well, the GTS.
But you
like the
GTS.
But I did like the 4S.
You like the Targa.
I mean, I don't have to get greedy here. Maybe I'll buy another car if I have the budget.
All right, so no budget. It's the same brand. It's the same car. It's a 911 GT3 Touring. I drove the previous version in Munich around the countryside for an afternoon, and it was just absolute bliss. And I'll put the card here, and I'll also put the card for the Targa that we drove.
Yeah, we didn't have the 4S. We had the 4, and you know what? That was good enough too. I'll take any of them.
Yeah, you got to get the GTS.
And that's a wrap. We are at 200,000. We couldn't be happier. We weren't sure when we would get there, but what a way to start 2022 for us. You
know when you hit 100,000 on YouTube, Andrea?
Yeah.
They send you a plaque.
I know. I remember that.
All right. So you know what the next milestone is to get the next plaque?
What?
1 million.
Oh, great. Let's get moving.
Talk about having that carrot way off in the distance. But anyway, the carrot's out there, and who knows? Maybe one day.
Thank you so much for all of your support. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it, all of your positive feedback, your lovely comments, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. And we just wouldn't be here without all of you. Some are older subscribers and some are newer, but we're just happy to have you along for the ride.